Welcome to the Future Fit Edge podcast, your launchpad into a smart future. In this era of exponential disruption, the choice is crystal clear. Reinvent or be left behind, whether you are at your peak or facing new challenges. I am Cindy Montgenie, your guide, inviting you behind the scenes of strategic reinvention. As a former tech executive turned future of work explorer and reinvention strategist, I have equipped thousands of leaders worldwide to not just navigate ambiguity, but thrive in it. Each power-packed episode decodes the strategies of top executives who are tackling today's toughest challenges to stay future fit and transform their organizations, communities, or industries for a brighter tomorrow. Tune in for stellar insights, practical frameworks, and cutting-edge mindset shifts that will set you apart. The future is unstoppable. Are you ready to be unstoppable too? Hit subscribe and join me on this exciting journey. Welcome to a new episode of the Future Fit Edge podcast. I'm thrilled for the conversation today with another accomplished guest with an inspiring story. Our guest today is Rashad Thomas. Rashad is the current regional director for AT&T Florida, overseeing local and government relationship for Miami-Dade County and parts of Broward County. Prior to his role, he spent 18 years public service, working in different capacity for the Miami-Dade County government, and he started his career as a community organizer. I cannot do justice to all his amazing accomplishments, awards, and all the boards he's currently on. So I invite you to read his bio in the description of the podcast. And also I will include the link of an amazing documentary about his life, so you could get a better feel of everything that he has overcome to be where he is today. So welcome, Rashad, and thanks a lot for spending this time with us today.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me.
You're welcome. So let's dive in, because you have this rich and diverse career, but there is a common thread, which is community. You started as a community organizer, spent 18 years serving the community in Miami-Dade County, and now even in the private sector, you are involved in the community. So what emerging trends do you foresee will have a big impact in community development, community engagement, and how could organizations leverage those trends to be effective and impactful in the community?
Great question, and I appreciate that question because we live in a county, Miami-Dade County, that offers a lot. And for constituents that live in Miami-Dade County who are not involved, the main thing is to get involved. Because Miami-Dade County is a city that's forever changing. Every time you look around, there's something new going on in Miami-Dade County. Someone else is new, opening a business in Miami-Dade County. There's a new organization that's doing something in Miami-Dade County. So being connected to the county and just knowing what's going on and being able to follow those moving pieces, you'll be able to see the trends that are basically happening in Miami-Dade County. And I would definitely encourage constituents and residents to get involved, because this is the time to get involved. Like none other. Me being a Miami native, growing up in Liberty City, I can remember when we didn't have what we have today. I remember the old Miami downtown skyline, which doesn't look like it does today. I mean, it's totally changed. When you include Brickell, which was just the financial area of Miami-Dade County, and now it's this, luxurious area that tourists come to visit with beautiful restaurants and so much to do. So, in saying that, it's Miami-Dade County is kind of one of those cities or places that anybody that's looking to take a deep dive into being an entrepreneur or to just get involved in some type of community projects. I mean, think about the underline. There's so much going on in Miami-Dade County that we've learned from other cities, and we've taken. I mean, we've learned from California, from the Bay Area. We learned from Chicago. We've learned from New York, and now we're doing a lot of the things that they were doing in those respective cities, and now a lot of those players are now moving to Miami. So that's the trend. The trend is definitely the tech world. As Mayor Francis Suarez stated, he wants Miami-Dade County to be the technical hub of technology, you know, and it's going to also be the financial hub of finances. You know, people will no longer have to go to New York, you know, to meet with their financial advisors. You know, the big time advisors will be right here in Miami-Dade County. So the trend is Miami is forever changing, and there's so many opportunities for residents to get involved.
Love it, because you are born and raised in Miami.
Yes.
I'm not, but I've been here like for 24 years. So now I spend more of my time in Miami than in my hometown. And I could see the evolution. This is amazing.
Yes.
Like the Miami in 2000 is not the Miami, and we are all looking forward of what is going to be in the future. So love your approach. And part of this really amazing career, you had this great opportunity that not everybody had, only like a small group, to be part of the team that organized the Super Bowl in 2019. And one of the things about the future is always changing, but also is becoming more and more complex. So this was a complex project. How did this experience shape your approach to leadership and innovation? And what are the key insights that you gain for driving complex and large-scale initiatives that you think other leaders could leverage from this experience?
It was Super Bowl 54, which was in 2020. So it took us a few years to put it together. We actually started, I think, in 2018, worked through 2019. So it took some time to put together, but it was an amazing experience. So I'll be honest in saying, when given that opportunity, I was completely blown away. I was extremely honored, because I was still a Miami-Dade County employee, because the county has a relationship with the Miami Super Bowl host committee, where anytime there's a Super Bowl in South Florida, the county loans one executive to the host committee to work on different initiatives. And I was fortunate to be given the initiative of working on which is called the Business Connect program and legacy projects. So the Business Connect program was the opportunity to connect with local diverse suppliers from the Tri-County area to ensure that they receive contract opportunities when the Super Bowl came to South Florida. So I was able to ensure that 100% of Super Bowl Live tailgate was local diverse suppliers from our community. At the same time, I was able to keep promises that I made to a lot of those vendors and provide additional opportunities, where I created a program for the Orange Blossom Classic, which was similar to the Business Connect program, you know, to ensure that those same suppliers receive contract opportunities. And like I said earlier, Miami-Dade County is one of those cities where there's so much going on, and when you're talking about just being prepared, I had to be prepared, you know, for me to take on that role with the host committee, you know, because I was actually, you know, voluntold, but was excited to be there, and not knowing what to do. I had not really, you know, took a deep dive into working with entrepreneurs on the business side, while also dealing with what was called legacy projects, where I worked closely with Miami-Dade County Parks, and we were able to outfit 2 brand new football fields, one at Gwen Cherry Park in Liberty City, and another one at Goose Park down in the South District 9 of Miami-Dade County. So it was an opportunity for me to really get engaged with our entire community. And it was one of those things where I was able to learn a lot about Miami-Dade County. Being a native from Miami, from Liberty City, you kind of get stuck in a box and don't know a lot that's going on in the South. You know, Homestead, Florida City, that's, you know, an area that's full of agriculture, which there's so many opportunities in the South. So for me, it was one of those leadership opportunities where I was able to learn more about the community that I had been working in, and the community that I was planning to serve for many more years in many different capacities. So it challenged me as a leader to learn how to deal with different folks, because when you're talking about the South, you're dealing with farm workers, and I had never dealt with farm workers, so a lot of my leadership skills were tested. I started dealing with high level leaders from the NFL, as well as other organizations, directly from owners and individuals that were connected to the owners. So it was a daunting task, but it was one that I was didn't think I may have been prepared for. But believing in God, he took care of me, and you know, I had to pray many days to understand the process and the position that I was in, and I did it, and I did it with a smile, and it was very, very rewarding. Even to this day, I still get a lot of calls because you got like FIFA World Cup is coming to South Florida. Okay. So I'm getting so many calls from individuals. They're like, "Hey, Rashad, how do I prepare? How do I position my business for these different opportunities?" So I've been fortunate to be able to connect already with the Miami FIFA host committee. So I know some of the individuals, Ray Martinez, Janelle Prito, and a couple others that are over there. So I'll be able to take those same entrepreneurs that I worked with back in Super Bowl 2020, that I worked with during the Orange Blossom Classic, to continue to test my leadership as it pertains to keeping my promise and positioning individuals with opportunities.
This is awesome, like making the difference where you are placed. Yes. And you were part, so the Super Bowl was daunting, but exciting.
Yes, and very exciting. Very exciting.
And impactful. And you were part of also another daunting, impactful, but not so exciting project, yes, because you were part of the Miami-Dade County COVID-19 response team during the pandemic. So again, daunting, impactful, but not as fun as a Super Bowl. So here we're talking about leadership and crisis management. And one thing about the future is that we know that the next years are going to be marked by disruptions. There is a stat that between now, 2024 and 2030, so the next 6 years, we might experience more disruptions than the last 50 years. So what did you learn being part of the Miami-Dade County COVID-19 response team? What did you learn about leadership crisis management that you think will be valuable for other leaders, because all of us are going to keep facing unforeseen challenges in the future?
And you put it very well when you stated daunting task having fun, and a daunting task that's not fun at all. And as we called the Super Bowl 2020, we said that was the best party before the world shut down. Because right after the Super Bowl, I think weeks later, that's when everything started changing. Because for me, it was I had basically a vision of doing a lot of different other things. Like for me, I was never planning on, you know, going back to Miami-Dade County and, you know, working in county government anymore. But the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, I was working closely with Deputy Mayor Maurice Kemp, who was the deputy mayor, and I was the assistant to the deputy mayor, and he was reporting to Mayor Jimenez. And since he was assigned public safety, basically when the COVID-19 hit, me and him was responsible pretty much for everything as it pertains to identifying what was essential, what was non-essential, as well as providing responses to different mayors, commissioners, and so forth. So yes, this was a different type of test of leadership, because yes, I was having fun being a leader out in the community, but now here I'm dealing directly with elected officials who want things a certain way in their community. And I was able to learn more about Miami-Dade County, because the Super Bowl gave me an opportunity to learn about our community and the different parts of our community and different areas where people were living. But now I'm dealing with the elected officials who are responsible for those constituents, and now they have a certain way that they want things to be done, and they want them done in a timely manner. And a no is never a good response. So learning how to navigate throughout those situations and being able to communicate with those leaders and ensure that they were comfortable with whatever decision that myself and the deputy mayor came up with, as well as with the support of Mayor Jimenez. So it was trying times. It was one of those things too, where as a leader coming from a Super Bowl, where we were going to different happy hours and dinners, and now here it is, the world is shut down, and I'm literally working from 6 a.m. until 11 p.m. Sending emails in response to the pandemic, because when you're talking about 37 municipalities in Miami-Dade County, and you have 37 mayors that want a response, and then you times 37 times, we'll just say 4. That's just some municipalities only have 4 or 5 council members. So just imagine you have to provide a response to the mayors, to the council members, as well as to constituents who have concerns. So that was a daunting task as well, that prepared me for this current opportunity that I'm in right now.
Yeah, it's amazing how everything, like, we can connect the dots when we look back at
yes.
Steve Jobs said in his commencement speech.
Yes.
And so, like, part of this crisis management, it was like stakeholder management, priorities, managing like the stress of other people. Great.
Yes.
And I started our conversation with like a common thread in your career, which is the word community. But when we look at your life and career, we see another common thread, which is the empowerment of the youth. And I believe this comes because I watched the documentary that I'm going to put the link in your bio. And I think like this passion is coming from you, who had overcome so many obstacles in a difficult childhood. So what do you think is critical when we want to nurture the next generation of leaders in a world that is becoming more complex, digital, with a lot of division at this moment, and so fast-paced? So what are like the critical aspects if you want to build the next generation of leaders, especially in communities who at this moment are disadvantaged?
Yeah, I hate to say this because it's kind of cliche, but it's the truth. Exposure. When it comes to our youth, it's all about exposure. So many of our youth, even the ones who are less fortunate, they still find a way to be engaged with technology, which puts them in a position where they're no longer persons, and they don't know how to engage with people, and the communication skills are off because they stay in the house, they play games all day. So it's very important that kids are exposed, because, as they say, you can only beat what you see. And that's why, for me, I serve the community the way that I do, and I serve in so many underserved communities, because I want kids to be able to see someone that they can relate with. No matter who you are, if you've seen someone that looks like me, and you're able to say, you know what, that could be my brother, my cousin, my uncle, or whomever, just to ensure that kids have that comfortability. Because when I was a kid growing up in Liberty City, I didn't have that. It was one of my mom always took me to schools out of my community to ensure that I was able to be exposed to different things, and that was and I was fortunate. And that's why, for me, I realize my kids, every time I get an opportunity to show them something different, to provide them with another experience that they never had, that's very important. Because that takes you a long way in life, and it's also one of those things, as they say, it's good for conversation. When you're having conversation, you're able to talk about some of the things that you've been able to do and you've been able to experience. It goes a long way. So when it comes to our youth, and even the boards that I sit on, I'm always trying to find opportunities to ensure that we expose our youth to different opportunities that they've never thought that they probably could accomplish, that they've never experienced, maybe have seen, and to know that it's just arm reach away as long as you put in the hard work.
Yeah, and I love it because this definitely applies for youth, and especially disadvantaged communities. But when you think about it, even for adults, because what I do as a leadership strategist is working with organizations and doing retreats, and it's all taking people out of their day-to-day and put them in a context where they could have a different experience, to think out of the box and to really be creative and innovative. So I really love this insight that really apply to any aspect of our life, but definitely when you are young, it's even bigger. And I didn't mention this, so I talk a bit about your career in public sector and private sector, but you are also an entrepreneur. You're also married. You have like 3 boys. So you are like super busy. And I mentioned you are active in many nonprofit boards in the community. So how do you keep up with everything? Because the reason why you are involved in so many projects and initiatives is because you are bringing value. That means that you are relevant. So how do you keep up being relevant, staying agile? And what is your advice for other people to stay future fit?
The biggest advice I would give, and the reason why I think I'm able to accomplish what I'm able to accomplish for sitting on the boards and being a husband, father, community leader, is because I have an amazing support system. For one, my wife, Cindy Thomas, is very supportive in everything that I do. And I've learned to also include my family in a lot that I do. Because as I talked about earlier, exposure. So I love for my kids to be able to be out with me and see me in action and be able to not just see the father that they see at home, playing around, having fun, or they see on the ballpark, having fun, but they get to see their father in action, doing amazing things in the community. So, and when they're included, it doesn't feel like work. And I think for my kids, they appreciate that, because it once again, it gives them conversation pieces to be able to talk and say, hey, my dad does this and my dad did that. So I'm able to do it because of my support system, my family. We call ourselves the T5 family, which is me, my wife, and 3 boys. And we are very close. My oldest son, my eyes probably start sweating, was just sworn into the military about 2 weeks ago. So he'll be leaving in September to join the U.S. Army. And so we will continue to support him. And I'm sure once he gets back, we'll put this thing back together and continue to roll on as T5, just figuring out ways to continue to encourage each other, motivate each other, support each other, love on each other, and the whole nine. So I couldn't do what I do if it wasn't for my support system. So that's what I'm able to accomplish what I do.
Your support system. Great key, and kudos for your son to serve us and protect us. This is really admirable. So we get a glimpse of Rashad as a leader, as also a father and a husband. So we're going to keep going a bit more on this personal side. And I will be asking you some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
To get to know a bit more on a personal level. So between paper books and digital books, what do you take?
Paper books, ebooks. I'll take ebooks.
Ebooks?
I like to drive and listen. Yes.
Awesome. And to learn, podcast or books?
Well, these days I like a good podcast, because with a podcast you get to hear different opinions. Because a book is kind of straightforward, and it's almost like that one person that you're listening to in the book. Where a podcast, you have 2, 3, 4 people, and that they challenge each other. You get to hear different opinions and different perspectives on different ideas and things.
Okay. One of the best advice you have ever received?
From my wife. She told me to change the way that I dress in professional settings.
And you saw the changes when you did it?
Yes.
Awesome. Great advice. And your favorite comfort food?
My favorite comfort food. I'm not an island guy, but I'm a chicken guy. So I love chicken and potatoes. So a good chicken sauce always does me good. I love chicken sauce.
Awesome. And a famous person who is alive today, you would love to have coffee with, lunch or dinner, but spend some time with a famous person who is alive?
Oh man, famous person. I mean, I have to go with Obama. I mean, him being the first to, be a president in the United States of America, and just to, hear about some of the experiences that I'm sure we know he went through, but we've never heard about them, and just to hear, some of the things that he has not been able to talk about publicly, and just being able to get some insight.
Great. And you have accomplished a lot already, and I know like you have much more to accomplish because you are young. But what is a superpower you wish you would have?
A superpower I wish I could have. Man, if I could have a superpower, it would probably to be able to bring someone back, and that would be my grandmother. Have not had a conversation with her since 2002, and I miss her dearly. So yeah, if I had a superpower, it would be able to at least have a conversation with my grandmother.
Good. And you are super busy, and you share your secret to be able to do everything. But what would you do if you had one additional hour in a day?
Additional hour in the day, probably spend more time with the family. For me, that's where I get, my superpowers from, my family. So being able to continue to spend time with them continues to encourage me, motivate me to continue to do more. So yeah, spending more time with the family always does me well.
Thank you so much, Rashad, for sharing a bit about you on a personal level, also your perspective on the future of the community in Miami, your experience in leadership. It was fun to have like those different aspects, community building, youth empowerment, and leadership innovation and working under pressure. So I'm really grateful for our time together. I invite our audience to follow you and follow your journey, because I know like you will keep adding exciting new chapters. So thank you. And also to the rest of our friends, thanks for tuning in today, and please keep sharing, subscribing, and see you for the next episode of the Future Fit Age podcast. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Future Fit Age podcast. To keep the conversation going, follow me on LinkedIn and subscribe to my newsletter. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe, rate, and share on your favorite podcast platform. See you next time.